Today on Good News, the DC Universe has found its Brainiac, Die Hard is officially not a Christmas movie, and Jim Lee fingers his critics. Sounded weird. But as you know, here at Model-Behaviour, action figures always come first. So let's talk about them. Laserbeak has returned, mighty Megatron. We never really heard Shockwave talk very much in the Transformers cartoon, but he really carved out a niche for himself in the comics and ancillary media, where actually he's pretty freaking terrifying. That was a funny thing. When I started reading more of the comic books, I thought Shockwave was just this weird, one-eyed, one-armed doofus on Cybertron who wasn't cool enough to come to Earth. And then I realized, oh no, wait, he's a psychotic, terrifying, tyrant, mad scientist. It's kind of cool. And MDLX have done him full justice here with their 6-inch scale. I say like 6-inch scale. It's kind of like 1/12 scale, but it's not 1/12 scale because Transformers are big. You know what I mean. But it's my favorite Transformers line that for the longest time I was collecting, and they were so beautiful. I eventually sold them all though. Except for Optimus Prime. No matter what happens, I can't part with Prime. But the reason I quit the line was because it was too expensive and too good, and there were too many figures, and I would have wanted to have all of them. And I definitely would have wanted to have this one, because this Shockwave, it looks wicked. They put so much work into these. If you're a Transformers fan and you've never had an MDLX figure, I highly recommend it. Even if it means that you have to pass on a couple of other cheaper figures, genuinely, I'd say it's worth it. Once you feel the quality of, because it's metal and it's the joints are buttery smooth, and yeah, this is what action figures should be. It's bizarre that I'm saying, yeah, it's too nice for my collection. I had to bid them adieu, but this, man, looks fantastic. Get your pre-orders in if you want it. I think this one's going to be popular. Folks, there is still time to get your videos in for the Model Behaviour Christmas special. Just email me at davidsmodelbehaviour@gmail.com a 60-second video of you telling me your name, where you're from, and what your action figure of the year is. Send that over to me, ideally filmed in widescreen, landscape kind of format, so it looks better on YouTube. Then you can be a part of the Christmas special. It's my favorite video to make every single year. I've got a whole bunch of submissions already, but I want a whole bunch more. So yeah, if you can get that video over to me as soon as possible, we can all be a part of the Christmas special together, and that personally is the favorite present that I can ask for. Let me show you how snake-like I can be. Little Jafar action there for you. It's not a good impression, Dave, if you tell them what it is. That was obvious. And we got some snake skeletons here, which look super fun and are available now on Bumblebee and probably other places as well. These are the Yoto Toy Skeletal Series Viper Guard. This is just super fun. I think someone said, hey, shall we put out some skeleton figures? And someone else went, psh, 4 Horsemen are doing skeleton figures. What's the point? And then they went, what about skeleton snakes? And then they were like, you know what? Give that man a raise. These look super fun. The Viper Guard, it says here, can transform into a high orc skeletal form through component replacement. Basically, you got modular skeletons that you can take apart, put together, kit bash around, make all sorts of creations. This looks like so much fun. You know, I'm much like yourselves. Probably, devilishly handsome, slightly neurotic. And also, I buy action figures because of the posing, because you want to just put them in a cool pose and then boom, on the shelf and that's it. But sometimes it's fun to have some play functions. Something that actually makes it, excuse me, little hiccup. I'm not going to edit that. Something that actually makes it feel more like a classic toy that you could just like fidget and digit around with. That's what we've got here. And honestly, I think they look super fun. Flame Toys coming in hot here with a beautiful little Bumblebee kit, and he looks straight out of the 80s cartoon. I tell you what, little trip back in time down memory lane. I watched Series 3 of Generation 1. If I've got my numbers right, that's the first series after the movie, when they eventually bring Optimus Prime back and he renames Bumblebee into Goldbug. And he's like, now you're Goldbug. And Bumblebee's like, yay, can I not just be Bumblebee? No, I'm a Goldbug. I bet he wish he hadn't said that. But classic Bumblebee here looks kind of fun. So Flame Toys, they're the more highfalutin. They're the more highfalutin figures. These are very expensive for the discerning toy purchaser who has a lot of spare cash. Love to know what that's like. But yeah, if you want to get a classic G1 Bumblebee, then Flame Toys, they're the ones to go to. Acid Rain World are really marking out a little space for themselves in the 1/12 scale sci-fi military genre. You got things like Valarverse, G.I. Joe Classifieds, and they were kind of safe because Acid Rain was only in 1/18 scale until recently. Now it's 1/12. Now the gloves are off. And they're not just coming for the action figures, they're coming for the vehicles as well. That's kind of a paraphrase, isn't it? I'm not just coming for something, I'm coming for the whole thing. That was from a movie, wasn't it? I can't remember what it was. Yeah, so we've got this awesome looking Acid Rain World 6-inch project Novak. That's like the military line, I think. But Red Locust is the name of this military Jeep thingamabob. Looks cracking. Looks really good. I'm just flicking through the pictures right here as I'm talking about it, and hoorah! it's a good looking figure. And the other two figures they've released alongside it, these crimson red looking guys, they look really badass as well. Are those LED lights too? Oh my goodness, this gets nicer and nicer. It looks tasty. It looks real tasty. Okay, I'm going to be following Acid Rain very closely, and I've got a good Acid Rain hookup in Hong Kong as well. So the plots are thickening, and the Mind Palace is expanding. I think 2026, I might be dabbling with some Acid Rain. Let's show some love for some anime projects that Dave's not too familiar with. But it's funny, every time I talk about these, people always comment, hey, nice to see you covering this thing that I like. So you're welcome. What we've got here from Tamashii Nations is worldwide Smash collaboration. The global hit anime One Piece meets the world's premier basketball league. Okay, that's two things Dave doesn't know. Anime and sports. How about that? The NBA with fantastic lineup coming to SH Figure Arts. Here's the first tease for what's to come. Look forward for more updates. So there you go. And then the second half of my don't know sandwich. You can't have a sandwich with two things, can you? That's a very disappointing sandwich. That's just two slices of don't know bread. The contents of the sandwich is my knowledge on the subject. Nothing. So now we've got SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Zezds Inazuma Plasma. State of your name, mate. So this is scheduled for June 2026 with pre-orders kicking off on the 22nd of December. So literally tomorrow. So you can get your pre-orders in pretty soon. And one thing I will say about Kamen Rider, first of all, they have a ridiculous number of action figures. All of them are really cool. I do love them because they're so bonkers. They're like based on chocolates and video games and all sorts of weird, wacky stuff. This one, no exception. Also looks kind of cool. Storm Collectibles have finally put up for pre-order their Karas figure with a whole bunch of very pretty pictures to go with it. Want to take a look at them? Here they go. So this is predecessor Karas, the guardian of a city who is neither a human nor a ghostly being. Something in the middle, I guess. Commanded by Urine, who represents the will of the city, Karas must abandon their individuality to become the guardian of the city. Now you could tell that was just copy I was reading because I've never heard of this dude before. But that's because I'm just not in those anime type circles. But I know a good looking action figure when I see one. And that's what I'm looking at right here. I'm looking at a very pretty looking action figure. I'm not mad about this. Going to be released Q2 of 2026. And as I said, up for pre-order right now. Go put your money down if you want to get yourself a Karas. Whoever that is. Valarverse have just revealed The Black, their new pirate line, and not a minute too soon. Why? Because where are all the pirate figures? That's something I didn't realize we needed until I saw this video from Valarverse. Go check it out on their YouTube channel after watching all my stuff. And it reminded me that there's just a dearth of pirate-themed action figures out there. We got mythical sword and sorcery, we got sword and sandal, we got all these sort of circling type genres, but just some, good old pirate type figures. Not enough. Well, Valarverse is going to fix that. We've got the initial reveal, which looks very encouraging because Valarverse, they kind of crush it with the quality. So if this is more of the same, which likely will be, we're going to be onto a good thing. I imagine like teaming these up with some of the Big Bad Workshop type figures as well, like a bit of just high fantasy, scary type things. Yeah, the mind starts spinning. I love what I'm looking at here, especially with the Cthulhu style pirate with the skull and then the tentacles coming down there. This looks wicked. $27.99 each. Again, good price too. Man, Bobby Valor should be paying me for all these nice things I'm saying. ETA, spring of next year. Keep your peepers peeled for them. I think this is going to be a real fun line. Joy Toy showing off some more amazing looking Warhammer figures. I got a hookup in Hong Kong for Joy Toy Warhammer. A friend of mine has a friend who owns a Joy Toy store. Shout out to Dave. Thank you for taking me there. And also, damn you, because now I have something that's going to be calling to me and my wallet. Because these things in hand are stunning. Absolutely amazing. If you've never had one of these, like, they're reasonably priced for what they are. Because they're so just well made. It doesn't really sound very impressive to go, oh, it's well made, but words are failing me. It's just really well made stuff. And they just are like little art pieces. So great. I'm kind of gushing over them. The Chaos Marines, they're the most fun ones because there's just so much weird stuff going on with them. When I move back to Hong Kong in March of next year, I think I might have to make a few purchases. We'll see. But right now, the Joy Toy output, this time with the Death Guard and the, what is it that I'm even talking about? The Death Guard and the White Scars. Yeah, some more fantastic additions. What are we looking at here? I don't know, but it's awfully pretty, isn't it? This, let me quote here, available for pre-order now on 5K Toys, is Lucifer Toys 1/12 scale. The Good Lord scale, which makes sense since we've got an angel here, the Archangel, Dawn Wings, Archangel Dawn Wings Michael figure. There's 3 different versions as well, A, B, and C. So it says here, for pre-order customers, they can now complete the second payment and have their orders shipped. Boom. So actually, this was obviously revealed a while ago. It must have passed under my radar. Well, you don't even have to worry about waiting for it now. You can just go over to 5K Toys and order it. Looking at the pictures, it's a pretty handsome looking 1/12 scale angel here. I mean, hey, it might be Michael, but Michael? Hey, you know what? Whatever. Angels can be quite androgynous sometimes. So, yeah. I tell you what, the soft goods hair. Do you call that soft goods hair? That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. It's kind of cool. Like the face is a bit sort of porcelain scary, but it's very impressive. The boob armor looks nice. Nice tits, Michael. But I saw a little sort of mini documentary thing about boob armor where, a historian said that literally is like anti-armor because the last thing you want is armor that concaves into the chest. So if someone hit you with a blow, it would guide the axe or the sword straight down to the center of your chest. Not a good idea. Maybe that's why Michael's an angel up in heaven with big boobs. Michael, I'm saying like that's. I don't want to like gender stereotype, but that is a classically male name. Still, cracking rack. Holy Hopping Vampires Batman. Hidesu Studios. A new studio to me. They might have been around for donkey's years. I don't know. But they've showed off these awesome looking soft goods, 1/12 scale. I would call them hopping vampires because that's the kind of mythology that I associate this look with. They're listed here as Hidesu Studios Zombies. That's all it says. But look at the gnarly details in the faces here and also the weathering on the soft goods clothes as well. These look kind of amazing. So I'm going to keep my peepers peeled for more information, like where to get these guys from. There's a cute little ghost accessory as well. Some badass skull faces that you can swap out. This makes me want to go and read up on some Chinese mythology. Of course, who am I kidding? When I say read up, I mean watch a YouTube video. But yeah, these look real creepy. So just these pictures alone give me the goo-goo jibbies. The question is, Hidesu Studios, that's the unknown element here because I don't know, guys, are you familiar with Hidesu Studios? Help me out. If you're familiar, let me know what the deal is, if they're good, bad, or indifferent, because judging from these pictures alone, these look pretty awesome. You know, most toy news channels are cowards. You know why? Because they tend to just talk about stuff that they actually know about and can give you the facts about. Not model behavior. I'll tell you about any nonsense that I halfway know something about, like this. For example, this crazy awesome Optimus Prime gender swap repaint version. Ta-da! Okay, so Asinus. Is that it? Aicinus? Asinus Primera. I think this company made an RC. This was RC. Or at least, you know, it originally was. And now they've repainted it, given a whole bunch of new accessories, and kind of turned it into a Michael Bay style Optimus Prime gender swap thing. And I love it. Because as you would know if you've watched this channel more than once, it's very model behavior coded. You know, there's a lot of stuff here for me to like. So also the write-up here from Speedball_Harrow. That's the website or the Instagram that I found this on. Embreed Infinite Charm, Icinus Primera, model number, blah, 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 with LED lights as well. I'm going to see if I can find out where you can pre-order this from. Q4 to Q1. Okay, so it should be coming out like now. It's available the end of this year, start of next year. So 76 Hong Kong dollars. That can't make sense because that's like £7.50. You know what? I'm going to look for more info. But just the initial site test, this looks really fun. Marvel Rivals, the game that kind of swept the world this year. It's from McFarlane's Spider-Man and Iron Man. And I like what I'm looking at here because I haven't played much of Marvel Rivals. I know that I like the designs, but I haven't really seen them properly. Well, now I can do, and I can really appreciate what they're doing with some of these. The Spider-Man costume design, I particularly have some affinity for. Got a bit of a Ben Reilly sort of vibe for it. That's one of the reasons I really dig it. Both these statues are 1/6 scale, and you got to kind of bear that in mind because Todd McFarlane goes all over the shop with his different statue sizes. So 1/6 scale, kind of hot toy scale. So they're a little bit more expensive. $60. They're going to be shipping around about February of next year by the looks of things. Like I said, available, or maybe I didn't. If I didn't, I'm saying it now. Available for pre-order on Amazon right now. Both of them look pretty fun. Roll on the action figures next year. Hopefully. It's time once again for the weekly comic book top 10. And if you like comic books, then maybe you might want to buy some from yours truly. So if you click the link in the description below, you can join me on Whatnot and buy some of my comic books. So in the number 10 spot for this week, we have Thor, issue number 5. Then at number 9, it's G.I. Joe, issue 16. They're getting ready for a big Transformers crossover in Skybound. Then at number 8, it's Black Cat, issue number 5. Number 7 is Daredevil, Punisher, The Devil, part 2. Then at number 6, Alien versus Captain America, issue number 2. At the number 5 spot, it's Exquisite Corpses, issue number 8. At number 4, we have Titans, issue number 30. Then in the number 3 spot, it's Absolute Flash, issue number 10. Still some of that absolute pixie dust paying dividends. At number 2, it's DC KO, Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. That's been a very hyped up book. And then finally, at the number 1 spot, an unusual one. We've got the Mark Spears Monsters Blind Bag, issue number 8. And funnily enough, literally, I got a whole bunch of these that I'm selling on Whatnot. And I can see why it's so popular. These are all killer. No pun intended. So gang, that does it for the weekly comic book top 10. In comic book news, a fun little retort from DC head honcho Jim Lee, who came under a little bit of flack for his Superman Spider-Man cover. Looked beautiful, but it was, as some might say, good from far, but far from good, because as soon as you looked at Spider-Man's hand, it was like, what is going on here? Jim, what are you doing, man? I know Spidey is often kind of like this, but like that? Nah, that must have been like last thing on a Friday, right? You want to just get a jump start on the weekend? Well, comic book fans weren't going to let him get away with it. And he went, you know what, guys? I'll hold my hands up. No pun intended. Let me try that again. And he gave us a new version. Boom! Fixed. So you know what, Jim Lee, credit to you, buddy. At least you can laugh at yourself. And definitely no AI used in this cover. Die Hard is officially not a Christmas movie, at least according to Macaulay Culkin, Kevin McAllister himself. But I actually really appreciate the logic here. And I think this could put to rest the debate about Die Hard being a Christmas movie. He gives us the idea that in order to be a Christmas movie, the events of the film have to hinge on the fact that it is Christmas. Just having something set during Christmas doesn't mean anything if the events of the movie could have played out any time of year. And that's where Home Alone, it actually is a Christmas movie. Because his family are away for Christmas. The wet bandits are robbing houses because everyone's on vacation. It makes sense. That's a Christmas movie. Die Hard, that could take place anytime, any corporate function in an office building. So there you go. Not my words, but Kevin McAllister. Die Hard, officially not a Christmas movie. The DC Universe has found its Brainiac. Lars Edinger? Let's go with that. Has secured the role of the supervillain for Superman. What is it? Superman, Man of Tomorrow. And yeah, it looks the business. I mean, I know you might just say, Dave, he's literally just a man. But bear with me here. Take off the hair, paint him green. He kind of has an interesting, unusual sort of looking face. I'm not saying that in a mean way, because I don't comment on people's looks in a mean way. I know how that feels. Thanks, comment section. But he just looks like he could absolutely be a Brainiac type, especially with the eyes and the eyebrows, like very kind of intensely sinister and cerebral. Once again, I think it's going to be another win for James Gunn. I loved Superman. I'm so happy we're getting a sequel so quickly. Roll on, Supergirl, Jason Momoa as Lobo, and now this as well. Even with the potential Netflix merger, I think the Warner Brothers DC universe, I think it's going to be in safe hands. Today in Artist Alley, we're featuring DS Lugi, who just has this really fun anime kind of look, like not crazy intensively detailed, but more just bright, popping and bold. I think maybe in the winter months when the weather gets colder and the days get shorter and things get darker, I kind of hearken more towards bright cartoony styles. That's exactly what we got from here. So DS Lugi, thank you so much for brightening up this channel. Today's cosplay cover artist is Elizabeth Rage. Why? Because who doesn't love a crazy girl? And she definitely projects a whole big bag full of crazy. And I'm sure it's in a lovable, well-controlled kind of way. But someone who's willing to make themselves look bizarre, ridiculous, wacky, and over the top, yeah, I got a lot of time for that. Once again, very on brand for model behavior. So go give her a follow on Instagram. And folks, that does it for good news for today. Maybe until Christmas as well. I don't know. We'll see if any more news drops. But gang, thank you so much for watching. What did you think about the items covered? Comment below and let me know. And there's still time to get your videos in for the Christmas special. The deadline is pretty much like the stroke of midnight on Christmas Eve. But please don't do that to me. My stress levels can't handle it. I drink too much coffee as it is. I'm a very jittery human being. Gang, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee. Big time.